Hello, 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 and welcome to the SHIRO Show. Brand new SHIRO Show.
Welcome.
With me, Trinoko, Danthrax, and Saturn Dave.
Welcome.
Yo. What's up?
And we have Random.
Yeah,
in
Random's
the
there.
And we
audio.
have Random. Randomly, he's just somewhere in the background.
Yeah.
But welcome
So,
to the
yeah,
show, guys.
welcome to a brand new live SHIRO show. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Wiener Bob was first. Is he going to slip on the keyboard again and donate $500? $300? Analog Black Sheep, Saturn, Tales of Saturn is here, SHIRO. Pudgy Bunny, Dragons of Saturn. What's up, guys? Zeed64, Nathan Anderson, William Anderson. Oh, we got the Anderson twin, the Anderson twins, or
Good.
I don't know, William Anderson. Any
So, like,
relation?
Wes Anderson and Paul Anderson.
Wes Anderson and
Paul
yeah,
W. Wes Anderson.
Who knows?
Slow Coin, Double Dime, Pierre Garot, Paul Bort is here. Lee, Toast with the Most, Starlight Witch Gaming, no longer abandoned. Mike Garcia, Martin Evans, Ray is here. BP Husker, and that's everybody. That's 22 folks. 22 thumbs up. Let's go. Give us
If
a
you
like.
thumbs up or thumbs down, we won't judge if you give a thumbs down. Just
You could give it a
it's called
thumbs down.
feedback.
Don't tell me. David Zaney is here too. How's it going? It's been a while since I've been shirtless. Okay.
No.
Well,
Good to know.
That's
all right.
interesting.
He's doing the George Costanza on the couch, like
Yeah,
watching.
believe it or
SHIRO.
not, not
Maybe.
at home. Please leave a message at the beep.
After the tone.
Oh,
Yeah. It's a good little
Yes,
jingle.
that was a good
I
one.
remember that one.
What have you guys been up to? It's been a week.
It has.
yeah, been a long week. Been stressful. Just been house sitting for my family. So it's been my parents. So I've been going back and forth between their house, taking care of the cats, staying overnight, and then going back here doing the usual stuff at the house, and then going back afterwards. Just been kind of getting nuts, and I'm getting burning on both ends right now.
They had the
glad you joined us,
landscapers
Hank.
come over, and they didn't leave money for the landscapers, so you literally had to like.
Yeah, I had to
cough
pay
up.
the landscaper. So
That
Mr.
is so
Moneybags.
funny.
yeah, I
that's-
guess they kind of forgot the whole. There's a landscaper coming over.
Mm-hmm. Jeez. I'm sure your parents will pay you back, though.
Yeah, I imagine.
Budget
I mean,
or-
they better pay me back.
Do you have a budget or buttery? Surprise parties. Surprise
Thank
parties.
you for the $1.99, Wiener Bob.
thanks.
I think
Wiener
it's
Bob.
buttery. I like surprise parties, especially since I never really get like surprise parties, so it's always good when I have one.
Yeah.
It always
I don't
seems
know
like
if
I
I've
had to like
ever
buy
had-
my own cakes and stuff when I have my own parties.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
buy all the supplies for it. So
Mhm.
I don't think I've ever had a surprise party, but if I did, I imagine it would be pretty buttery. What about you, Dave?
Well, I've had a couple, but they weren't surprises. Like I knew they did a bad job keeping them a surprise,
No.
so it wasn't really a surprise, but it was still fun. I pretended to be surprised.
they're like, "Hey, Dave, don't go out to this place at 3:00 p.m."
Yeah, like change of plans. No, yeah, I don't know. but yeah, no, I mean, but budget.
But
I don't know.
budget
I
or
don't think they're
buttery?
budget. I don't think they're budget because it costs kind of a lot to put on something like that and keep it a surprise.
yeah,
But are they
have to, like-
metaphorically budget, as in you don't
You gotta pay people to keep quiet, right?
it's budget.
Yes,
It's budget when you have to buy
maybe.
your own birthday cake, because that's when it's budget.
Right.
Yeah, fair enough. Well,
Well, anyway,
I
thanks for
guess,
the.
Yes, thank you, Wiener
Yeah.
Bob.
Thank you for the
what's up?
$2. Thank you for not donating $200 again.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that too. So I have a pickup this week at long last after many weeks of no pickups. If you were done, Pat, were you done?
Yeah, I'm done. Just living in misery.
Okay. Okay, God. Hopefully your day gets a little better hanging out with us.
Probably
talking
not,
Sam.
but let's hope.
Oh, come on.
We can try.
I got arm
Saturday
day. I get
talk always
arm day
makes me
today, and then
better.
I gotta feed a cat more medicine at night. So
Well, praying for you, Pat. Hopefully that goes well.
I hope so
Yeah.
too.
So my pickup this week was the aforementioned limited run games buy of River City Girls 2 with a good cover, the cover that was like on the Asia version of the game, but this is not the Asia version. They did print an NTSC version that was like a limited edition cover. So yeah, happy to get that. That was cool. Not a Saturn thing.
It's mine now. You just put it inside of me, so.
Oh yeah, well enjoy.
Thank
Hopefully
you.
that makes your day better.
Hopefully I won't find any crumbs in there.
Oh yeah, no, it's not the collector's edition, so I don't think they can fit a crumb inside that little box.
I mean,
they
could.
sounds like a challenge.
Somebody's lunch in there, you know.
Yeah, challenge.
That's just
but
like,
yeah,
it'd be funny when they're packaging them up. They're like, hey Bob, or whoever, well, some random guy, he's eating his lunch. They're like, here, just put one. We'll just have like a little conveyor belt, just run underneath you eating your burger, you know, and we'll have little pieces of burger going into the games.
just each one. No, I think my burger crumb in my copy of Shantae a few years ago was a Danthrax special. It was an exclusive.
That was just
the
a
Shantae burger bun.
They did that just for you.
me.
I guess if you say you got some Shantae buns, I guess it has a different meaning now.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Okay. I guess. Anyway, yeah, I've been playing some Saturn Homebrew for all the posts I've been making this week about our Sega Saturn Homebrew week that we've been doing all week, which we'll talk about later. But yeah, I have to say I did get a little sucked into some of the Homebrew games that I was capturing footage for, which I by the way, I have to thank you, Pat, and Pandemonium, who's not here, but hopefully he'll watch the show later, for providing some of the footage that I used. That was really helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. I had captured a bunch of. I actually couldn't find Sickle. I don't know what happened to it on my save drive, and then I was like, oh wait, hey, I have it on. Oh wait, I have the recording of it, so I just put it on there.
Yeah, that worked. That definitely worked. So yeah, but I mean, yeah, it was fun playing some of the ones that I did capture footage for, like Sky Blaster, and I played through all of Bridget Bishop again. Like, it had been a good couple years since I last played it, so I kind of forgot how to like complete the puzzles and where you're supposed to go. So it was kind of like playing it all over again. So yeah, that's, even though it's only like half an hour long, it's still a lot of fun. Good game. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been up to this week. What about you, Dave?
Nothing Saturn related. Let me think. Since last week, because I know, I don't think so. It's just been working a lot. I've been working a lot. Still studying Japanese. Reading the Initial D manga that I got in the omnibus. So that's fun. No, just working a lot. Honestly. I'm a slob. I'm a working slob, and I haven't had time. And folks have been telling me, like, you really got to get into the community challenge while it's still running, but I don't think it's going to happen. You know, because this weekend particularly is busy for me. So, and then on Monday, that's the last chance I'd have, and Monday's a busy day too. So,
what about tonight?
What about tonight? It's a movie night with the kids, and so spending time with the family.
When you put them to bed after the movie.
Yeah, that's true. I could just burn the candle. Hop on the bike.
Yeah, you don't need sleep, Dave. Who needs sleep?
No.
Who needs sleep when
tomorrow.
You have hang on? You know.
Exactly.
Right.
Hang on to the grip of your anxiety.
I've been adulting too hard lately. I should just, let loose and do some hang on.
I wish I could do less adulting. I've been trying to paint all week. I'm like, damn it. I have so much model, so little time.
You're too responsible, Pat. That's your problem.
Yeah, and I haven't had any pickups either. Not really. Although Gregory, I wanted to shout Gregory Rasputin. He had a pickup. He found another Netlink modem, and he just bought it and sent it to me to donate to to a kit. And I thought that was amazing. That was so awesome. And apparently he found another one too. So he's like, I don't know, he's going to flea markets or shops, and he's just like finding these things, and not less than $30. I was just amazed that okay, cool.
That's good.
So that's really awesome. So it wasn't really a pickup, but he shipped it over to me, and I'm going to test it and with a live modem, and then try to find a new home for it. So that'll be awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, no. Somebody asked in the chat, I just realized you guys need to make a video detailing all the major either retro gaming or Saturn-based communities in each region of the states. I don't think there really is any major Saturn communities in each region.
Yeah.
I guess my house Dave's house,
I guess like
Damtrax's
wherever
house.
you guys are out, if you're members of SHIRO and if you're then wherever you are, you're part of it. I mean, really, because like you're gonna find like Nintendo fanboy communities and maybe some Sony PlayStation stuff, but like we all have to come out of the woodwork and get online to like come together, because
there's no Saturn collectors of Arizona, so
if I go on OfferUp, there's like a million PlayStations, all scattered across San Diego being sold, and there's like one or two dudes, like one in North County and one way down by the border selling Saturn stuff, so it's like, those are the kids that were Saturn kids, and they probably were the only ones in their neighborhood.
And the exchange store that's near me, I was just in there yesterday browsing around, and they actually were selling a Saturn. Now they have like a good number of Saturn games, which they usually do, which is nice, but they don't usually have consoles. They did this time, and they wanted $180 for it.
Just for the console.
That
Just a
is
standard US pattern.
$120 too expensive for that.
I know, it's insane.
Yeah. I would call that. I would consider that like a kind of a artificial inflation, like a Saturn tax, because
that's
it's like
the tariffs they put. That's 20% tariffs they put on the Sega Saturns.
I mean, because the guy was like, "Oh, they don't come in very often. They're kind of rare." I'm like, "Okay, I guess," but they're like.
Not my fault. Not
my
fault, guys.
You can get these things on eBay for a third of this price. Like,
or you can go on Yahoo Auctions, pay 180, get that, a bunch of controllers and a bunch of games.
Right.
So there you go. You just saved a bunch of money. Thank Patrick later.
I can believe that.
And if you're technically inclined at all and you like doing restorations or anything, like there's this extreme restoration video that was posted within the last week or so, Saturn restoration. The thumbnail totally looks fake. Like it looks like one of those they like airbrushed it to look bad, No, but it's legitimately garbage. It's like a garbage toilet
for like a week.
Like there's legit rust all over the inside, all the internals, and dust and spiders and like cockroaches and stuff like that.
I heard all those ones are fake as hell though. Like they literally purposely make it more dirty. Just to clean, like those carpet videos that you see where they clean it. It's like there's no way the carpet. Yeah,
honestly though, you gotta watch the video, and I think that it'll, because he literally like desolders chips from the board, and takes all of the capacitors off and like replaces a ton of stuff, and it was like a literal junk Saturn. So I mean, if you're technically inclined, you could definitely do like a restoration to a junk Saturn, get a garbage Saturn, or I mean honestly just get a cheap one from Japan. But I mean, I feel like the going rate for like a standalone Saturn about 10 years ago was like $40, and then it jumped up, and it's like incrementally jumped up to like 80, 100. 100 is like a fair price. If you can find one for $100, grab it. But
that's with controllers, by the way.
Right. Yeah. Cables, controller, all that stuff. It would be worth it. I mean, it's still worth it. It's Saturn, so
it's a Saturn.
I just feel like they're gouging. They're charging the Saturn tax is what they're doing. Because
when Bunny got me my Saturn back in 2018, it was only 7 years ago, and 2018, and that cost $35, and that was from that same store.
Okay, so there you go. 2018. We did a number on the Saturn. No, I'm just kidding.
It was
around when we got started.
Well, I think it's kind of the fault of the community, and just how much cool stuff has been coming out in the last 7 years, and making people want Saturns, which I guess is kind of a double-edged sword, what can you do?
But honestly, though, I never hear anybody complain about that anymore, because it's like, just get a Saturn from Japan, get a SHIRO, you're good.
Yeah.
Or Satiator if you want to be really good.
To some degree, we're somewhat responsible just for boosting up awareness of the console, but ultimately it's the fault of folks who didn't buy it in the first place, because there's the demand, but there's not a lot of supply, and that's just because if it didn't sell well back then, they didn't make more, so there's just not as many around. But
if you guys want to wait, I'm pretty sure we're going to be recessed soon, so if you guys want to wait a little bit, I imagine with each recession game prices drop dramatically, so I would just wait for that, and then everyone started to hawk their systems because they don't want to lose their homes. And then I mean, that sounds kind of bad, and like you're taking advantage of it. But I mean, it's a dog-eat-dog world in the game collecting business. if somebody's
Oh
going
my
to give you
God.
good deals, it'll be during a recession.
You know, it's true. Analog Black Sheep mentions this is kind of the same with cars. And like, I swear, like before 1998, no, you know, a Corolla hatchback wasn't worth anything, you know? And now it's like even broken, like shitty Corolla hatchbacks, you know, go for crazy money just because of initial D, you know? Like, like
Or
everyone
like any
wants
or
to
the
pick up
240s,
like
the 240 SXs.
right.
Those
Or
go for nasty monies.
even like RX-7s, you know, like that, even though like those things are a nightmare to have to maintain, you know, they still go for crazy money. And same thing with like the rally cars, you know, like the Celica GT4, like the, you know, Lancia cars. Those are all way out of anyone's price range.
What about the motorcycles featured in Hang On GP?
I'm sure that there are some motorcycles that are like artificially inflated just because of nostalgia, but I don't think, like I don't exactly. Oh, that's another thing too. There's a rule about importing cars from Japan.
Yeah, 25
and
years.
it's like, what was it? The 25-year rule.
25-year rule,
like
yeah.
Here we are. A lot of those cars that were popular in Initial D are now. People are importing K trucks. They're importing like all those
K
like
cars,
the, old,
the cappuccinos.
R32. Exactly. So
I mean, even the Type Rs.
Already,
even some of those Type Rs are just like, they're like up there like thousands of dollars, like the price of what a Skyline GTR 32 was like 5-6 years ago. They're about that price. It's like, bruh, I ain't paying. If I want to pay like 25 to 30 for a Honda Civic, I'll get the new Type R. Thank you very much.
But yeah,
well, Eric in chat noticed that I tried to give us a segue into the community section.
Oh, he tried. Yeah, he tried. Dan always is trying to keep things going, and Pat and I are always.
You get on rants, man.
We get on rants.
Going. You're talkative. You're chatty.
I just want to own a Type R in my lifetime.
Anyway,
okay. Moving on to the community challenge. Go ahead.
Yes, if you want to play our song, Pat.
Our song is playing.
Yeah. Okay. And do you want to do the dramatic reading? I believe it's over in Discord, or do you not have it up?
Sure. I'm looking for. I found it right here. Okay.
Okay. Good.
I'm gonna just start posting this weekly updates here if that's cool. I'm just joking. That's what he just wrote on the thing. The Sega Saturn SHIRO Hang On GP Challenge is coming to an end, with Crash still bashing away every category, including the current weekly challenge at Long New Dwells with an incredible time of 3 minutes, 1 second, and 30 milliseconds. Participants still have until midnight, specific time, to get their New York times for the final weekly challenge, and until Monday night to go back and improve their times in the first 3 courses. Does anyone have the speed to catch Crash? Don't let his Aku Aku mask intimidate you. You got to hang on. Also, shouts out to Sam for joining random and the emulation category. Good luck.
Yeah, thanks, Sam.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, if anyone else wants to join them in playing Hang On GP with an emulator or with your Mr. FPGA, then by all means, hop in our Discord server and do that so that we have a few more, because it's the first time that we've tried to do an emulation category in one of these. So, you know, if there's interest, we can keep doing it in future ones. We'll see.
Please.
By the way, somebody left a comment on the YouTube video for the community challenge.
No.
They said play it. I forget who it was too, but they said the only way to play this is with the mission stick. Trust me, you'll thank me later. And I wanted to ask somebody in the community chat, like, has anyone tried it with the mission stick? Because he was like, just trust me, you'll thank me later. I know it's great with the wheel, but I haven't heard anybody. You have a mission stick, right, Dan?
I do, and I have not tried it with mission stick, so maybe you should. I should.
Maybe you should. That might be like the ultimate like cheat, or the ultimate like God mode is doing it with the mission stick.
I wonder if it works like it probably does. Probably works like with the 3D control pad, which I have used with Hang On GP, where like you have to hold up and then like, you know, twist it side to side.
I don't know.
You're turning a wheel, because that's what it's expecting, is for you to have the wheel in analog mode. I wonder if that is what you have to do with the mission stick. You probably do.
You probably would, yeah.
Yeah.
But it'd be interesting to see. I don't know if he's just joking or if he was serious. It seemed like he was serious. But anyway. speaking of the community challenge, did we want to move on to the next announcement?
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do I have to play the community music again, or can I just... We just played it, right? Okay.
That's just the beginning of the segment, so we're good on that.
Just joking. We're good.
We're on the same page though, right? It's the announcement.
Yeah, that announcement.
Yeah.
The announcements of announcements.
Okay, the announcement to the announcement. Well, I don't know where Greg is either. Like, I'm not sure if he's like watching. I didn't see him in chat.
He's probably working.
But I know Double Dime is here. Yeah, I know he's like a working slob like us. But Slowcoin is here. Double Dime's here. And speaking of Double Dime, like he joined this community a couple years back. Like, I don't know, it's been several years now. I can't remember how long it's been. But like from the get-go, you know, he was very involved in you know, just like getting folks involved in gaming on Saturn. You know, I remember he was like one of the first to like test out you know, what was that controller setup with like the Brook adapter and everything like that, and doing like online
Wing,
gaming
right?
over like, sorry,
the Brook Wingman, the Wingman or whatever.
yeah, the Brook Wingman thing, and he was doing like the online gaming where it was like over a streaming capture or something like that. But he was engaging folks with that. He was one of the first to sign up for like the Netlink modems and do the online play when Joe Sega RPG Fan got that going. And very quickly soon after went ahead and got our online tournaments going. Has been running those off, you know, just hardcore passion ever since, and organizing those. And it's been a lot of work. It's been a passion of his, and you know, I always say like Double Dime's a true gamer. You know, he may not be like the best out there, but he's like a hardcore gamer, and he always shows up to every competition and puts up a really good time and encourages everyone else to do the same. You know, so been working hard. And then of course Gregory Rasputin, folks who, you know, are members of the SHIRO community will know he's been instrumental in the community challenges, getting those going. Helping promote them, coming up with new ideas, stuff like that. So it's really been those two, like a dynamic duo. And we've had help from several other folks, but I mean, those guys have been working their asses off to make the community challenge and the online tournaments a success. And so we wanted to honor them. Of course, it just seemed like it's been a long enough time that we would honor them by making them official, you know, Team SHIRO members. So both Double Dime and Rasputin, Gregory, are welcomed into the fold, into the Team SHIRO.
I'm changing those permissions like on Discord now. That's why I'm on
Congrats,
the phone.
Guys.
We love you guys. We're super, super fortunate to have folks like you who are just, you know, willing to work hard just for the passion of love of Saturn.
Community.
And yeah, and I mean, like, they've donated their time, their money. It's just, you know, anytime I see folks like that, and I mean, Dan, you were kind of one of the OG people to donate your time and work really, really hard, you know. And so it was like, after a while, Pat and I were like, he's basically a SHIRO, you know, like, we just should make it official, you know. So felt like the same thing with Gregory and Double Dime, you know, might as well make it official. And so I think not a whole lot is going to change, but we'll probably give them certain permissions and mod status here and there, and whatever they need to do to run a tight ship and, you know, be able to promote stuff easily without having to like ask permission or anything like that. So
I'm going to crack the whip on them to write stories for the site. Which,
nice. Yes.
To be fair, Double Dime already has been.
He has authorship.
He does. Yeah, he's been writing the last few stories about the community challenge, which is cool. So I think he's kind of doing that going forward. And I already bugged him about writing about VBT's flashback port to the Saturn. He's been testing that out, and
nice.
I thought it'd be nice to get a little feature on his thoughts on that. So yeah, but Gregory Rasputin, watch out, because I might be getting you to write something here too.
Yeah, I think I need to set him, if he doesn't already have an account, I need to set him up on the website.
Dan came to my parents' house and beat me up and told me if I don't write a story about the new fan translation, he was going to make it worse.
Yeah,
and they kicked my dog on the way out.
You did. It worked because you wrote something today. So
I don't know why you had to kick the dog though, but I guess whatever helps you motivate me enough, I guess that works.
No, don't kick any dogs. Leave the
So
dogs
yeah,
alone.
if you've taken part in any of the online tournaments, or in the community challenge, or you've just needed any kind of technical support in our online forum for the Saturn Online, getting your thing connected and everything, they've spent many hours helping folks in the community get connected and troubleshooting and doing the brackets and stuff like that. So anyway, we're super thankful to those guys, and we just want to basically recognize them here live in public.
Yep.
And so yep. Anyway, that's cool. So now I guess on to what's next.
Yeah. Also, hi Aces, how's it going? He's in the chat.
Hi, Ariel. Aces.
Oh yeah, what's up?
There's a cool designs.
I think for our last bit of community news, we wanted to shout out our fellow SHIROs, the Sega guys, who have put up a couple of cool videos earlier this week. One of them was about Saturn.
Let me get those up real quick. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, 4 days ago they put a video about whether Radiant Silvergun is the greatest shmup ever, and talking about what makes it special. It was a really good video. It goes over a lot of...
An amazing video, yeah.
Yeah, of like the ins and outs of Radiant Silvergun. Like, you can learn a lot about it if you haven't dived into that game yet. And the day before that, they put out another really good video, a little shorter, this one, about Wipeout being ported to the Dreamcast by a homebrewer. So yeah, check both of those out, and I believe they have a couple more that are up for members only right now that are coming soon, about Golden Axe, Revenge of Death Adder, and a new podcast about Sega being on the PS2, Sega games on the PS2. So keep a lookout for those.
Which there were quite a few, or some really good ones. Lots of Sega Ages titles, and then just some ports and other stuff that came over from the
sequels. I mean, really, the PS2 got more Sega games than the Xbox did. Everyone thinks like, oh, well, the Xbox is the successor to the Dreamcast, and I understand.
Right? Yeah, the PS2 actually got.
It got more. It got more games. I know the argument can be made for the Xbox because it got, I guess a lot of high-profile exclusives in that first year, but then things really dropped off after that. Really, after Panzer Dragoon. Orta, really. Meanwhile, the PS2 kept chugging along with, Shining games and Nightshade and Shinobi and
Initial D. You had Initial D. You had
Japan,
in Japan, of course, but you also had like the Outrun 2 SP. I guess they both had Outrun.
Both got Outrun.
Xbox got PSO. PS2 did. They got like the Phantasy Star Universe games, but
which the GameCube did too.
Yeah, I was going to say some more controversial. I think the GameCube is a skewed successor to the Dreamcast.
Or you think the GameCube is?
Yeah, I'm going GameCube.
I think they just kind of diversified. They kind of diversified across all the platforms. You make sure that there was a little Sega everywhere. But yeah, the PS2 has a really good, strong Sega showing. So.
Yeah,
definitely a good video.
What the Sega guys have to say about that. I haven't listened to it yet, so they'll probably be up on Monday, I would guess, for everybody. Anyway, I guess we can get into the news.
Alrighty, what's new in the news?
Another Under the Microscope from Bo. Is Bo here, by the way? I didn't see him in chat. He's usually here, but he may not be for this one. But so Bo, I guess he dug into Battle Monsters.
Yeah, he did.
Big Bad Battle Monsters.
Naxit Soft, which is funny. Naxit Soft, I know them from the Summer Carnival Rekka on the NES, which is a fantastic shooter. It's a shmup on the NES that pushes the NES way beyond what it should be capable of doing. But then Battle Monsters is kind of
it does not push the Saturn.
It does not push the Saturn. You want to talk about who wants to do this one?
Got a $5 donation from Malenko. Bo Bales rules.
I'll read it. Let's see. There are a lot of 2D fighting games on the Saturn. Battle Monsters is ... certainly one of them. Look,
it's definitely a game.
It's no Street Fighter. It's no Primal Rage. It's kind of close to Primal Rage. It's got that kind of digitized thing going.
Yeah. And awful and bad and playable.
Surely someone likes this game though, right? Guys? Anyone? Okay, but maybe
and on that
it
note,
was.
before you go on, Dave, we actually did have several people when we posted this across social media saying like, "Yeah, I just played this game last week. This is actually really cool. If there's new cheat codes, wow!
Are you
Thanks for
sure?
posting.
Are you
this
sure
up.
they weren't
This game does have
bots?
fans." I don't think they're bots. I don't think we get too many bots on our.
Truth
on our
is,
social media.
it's an interesting one. It's definitely one of those like so bad it's bad. I don't
It's
know.
a Kusuge.
It could, yeah. It goes
Can you
back.
enjoy it. It's a Kusuge.
You
Yeah.
could, yes.
What's that one game
Yeah.
where the Scottish dude shoots a fireball out from his kilt?
Out of his kilt.
Which one was that one?
I don't know.
That's one of the ones on the 3DO. Oh gosh, what was it? The Way of the Warrior?
Is that the one?
I can't remember.
Might be.
Yeah.
Malenko's saying this game is better than Way of the Warrior.
It's better than Way of the Warrior. Okay, so but anyway, it's same vein, right? Same kind of thing, you know. Anyway, maybe it was the only game that maybe it was the only game your cousins had, and you played it every time you went over to their house.
That'd be a weird one
and
to
so
have.
you remember it a bit more fondly than other players might, right? Okay, so I think that's what the deal is with Bo. He's probably hinting at that. It turns out that this game has a hidden debug mode. It's easy to access. At the title screen, press up, down, left, right, start. And there's a video that he included here that kind of. But let's see here. The debug menu allows you to play unplayable characters. Once it's unlocked, new menu appears. Kind of like I don't know, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Definitely
it's
not
like
better than Smash
level
Brothers.
menu, character menu. Yeah. Debug menu options mostly do what you would expect. The 1-player and 2-player character selectors use numbers rather than names, but the order is the same as the one used by the character in the select screen. What's most interesting, I guess, is that you can choose 4 unplayable boss characters: Leviathan, Behemoth, Salamande, and Ginny. I don't know. Numbers 13 through 16. Let's see. Information and hit display. So you can get, you can get hit boxes.
Evo can get wrecked.
Kazumi Ninja. Thanks, Wiener Bob, with the 199.
Kazumi Ninja.
It's correcting me in all caps. So he's like yelling
Jaguar,
at me,
not the
Dave.
3DO.
It's Kazumi Ninja for the Jaguar, not the 3DO. So here you go. So the Jaguar, the 3DO, and what was it? 3DO. It was Naughty Dog, I think, that did their shitty fighting game. I can't remember what it's called. But anyway, so you
I think it's called Crash Bandicoot.
Well, you had
It's not a fighting
three really shitty digitized fighting games across the Jag, the Saturn, and the 3DO. I'm sure PlayStation has something like that, but anyway, that's something they all share in common. So yeah, hitboxes, information on, I guess, I don't know, like debug information. And then he goes into the technical details. Again, if folks are just like tuning in for the first time or you're not familiar, Bo, he reverse engineers Saturn games using Giri, and he finds a bunch of hidden stuff in the games and then writes about it on his blog, Rings of Saturn, or and he's generous enough to share all that on the SHIRO site as well. So under resources, if you click on hacks and cheats, you can read everything he's ever written about these hacks and cheats, and there's many articles. So I mean, like, you've got your standard run-of-the-mill codes that have been available for, I don't know, quarter of a century, via the Action Replay or whatnot. But then you've got all these special like hacks and cheats that Bo has dug up, like 4-player modes, or I don't know, Burning Rangers 2-player co-op mode, and all sorts of strange and wonderful things.
Or he'll just find all kinds of cheat codes that no one knew about before. Like, for example, our Battle Monsters one here today, I don't think anyone had listed this debug cheat before, this cheat code. So
right, yeah,
all that stuff is really only on his Substack and our website.
And typically he'll provide like a patched version that you can just put on your ODE
if it's necessary.
Play with it. If it's necessary, to just have everything unlocked from the get-go. There's a really cool version of Knights that he kind of hacked, where you have like synchronized flying, with multiple characters on screen, and there's like a Sonic version, kind of like the Christmas Nights Sonic, it's just Sonic, where you can just play every level as Sonic. bunch of cool stuff. So definitely check out Bo's other articles. And check out Battle Monsters, because I guess it's kind of got that campy B-horror. Really, though, Naxxit Soft, that's the surprising thing to me, because some of the other games they've done are less ironically bad or anything. Like, they're actually, like, you should definitely check out Summer Carnival Rekka if you haven't. It's an amazing shmup on the NES of all consoles.
Power Stone is a fighting game, but Smash isn't. Power Stone is just Smash Light.
No,
it's
my
true.
God.
I would definitely agree with Pat on that. Like, I always have. It's basically like the Dreamcast's Smash.
No, boy, okay.
Like Karyotos. Karyotos is like a precursor to that, right?
That sounds like a disease.
It's a Saturn.
It's a Saturn game.
It's a Saturn game that's kind of like a Power Stone style brawler thing.
Yeah, it's like an arena, a 3D arena style. Not really arena style, because it's not like Dragon Ball fighting games.
Well, there's like a platform. You're in like I don't know, there's different levels, like a playground and stuff like that, and you can like knock people out and stuff like that. It's very. You'll play it and you'll think, oh, okay, it's like Smash before Smash.
Wiener Bob said, yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, they have items. They have it's like a off-camera view, multiple directions.
You should stream it, Pat, and I would love to get your Karyotos on the Saturn. I'd love to get your like off the cuff impression of that game. See what you think, since you have a history with Smash and Power Stone. And be interested. Yeah, you should. For the fans. Code R, Best of Saturn. You guys a fan of this one? Take it.
Yeah, it's cool. So yeah, Peter Malik wrote up his hashtag Best of Saturn article this week on Code R. He describes it as Quintet's Japan-only 1998 genre blender. Code R is part racing game, part dating sim, because let's face it, it is the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, this is like the second one there is for the Saturn.
There's the doozy one.
Yeah, JR Doozy.
JR Doozy. Yeah.
J Doozy, yeah. Featuring various modes, including battle mode, time attack, and a story mode. Your goal is to race bad guys, quote unquote, whilst listening to various girls and responding to them in choose-your-own-adventure style. The game is compatible with both the 3D multi-controller and the arcade racer, and the races are well done and challenging, Peter says. Compared to the racing, dating is only so-so, as is the case in real life. These are his words, not mine. And as the game isn't translated, it is difficult to understand the girls since they speak a different language. This also feels like in real life. Again, Peter's words, not mine. Still, he says, it's a tidy package. Kodar, what a hell are you gonna make? Which he's quoting the crazy quote that's on.
It literally, yeah.
What a hell? What a hell?
What the hell are you gonna make?
What the hell are you gonna make?
That sounds like some Initial D stuff right there. What the hell are you gonna make?
Yeah.
Like the
literally
song,
this came out because of Initial D. I can guarantee you. It's the Toge downhill drifting. It came out in '98, like right at the same time as like the anime would have hit, or it would have been about to hit, and Initial D manga were like super popular. I think the Doozy game, JR Doozy, is drag racing, right?
Yeah,
like
it's straight drag
race, and this is Toge, so you get two flavors, right?
I would say this one probably has better mechanics racing wise.
I mean, it's rough.
The racing
it's rough.
But I mean, the racing's still not bad, and it looks good, but it's just hard to actually get into it because you have to go through hours of visual novel stuff. Now, there is like a way to just like do a quick race from the title screen, but if you want to actually, I think it's like a time attack sort of a thing. Like if you want to actually like race against a computer. I was watching Film Cow playing this. He did this like on a couple different nights for his Sega Saturn Saturdays. Every Saturday he streams a Saturn game at 11 p.m. Eastern. On Saturn Day, for his Video Game Valley thing. And he uses like Google Translate to get through all the Japanese in this game, the on-screen text. But I mean, it took him hours and hours of going around, talking to people, trying to figure out where he was supposed to go and what to do, and finding a waifu to partner with. Before the game finally let him race against a rival. So, I mean, I imagine you could go a little faster if you're a native Japanese speaker, and you're just kind of like flying through it. But still, like, this game is not just a racing game. It makes it work. But if you do get to the racing, it's kind of cool. It's not bad.
Careful,
It's
Dan.
not
There's a
great.
giant
I'm
anime
gonna
girl
be honest
judging you
with you.
from the background.
Just
Okay.
as a fan of racing games, like it's okay. Like it's just really loose. Like the drifting is really sensitive, and there's just a ton of like oversteer. But understeer, tons of understeer. But I mean, still, like, yeah, it's still one to try. Like I would definitely recommend folks try it out. There's actually a better dating racing game on the Saturn, which now, of course, I'm forgetting what it's called.
There's 3 of them now.
Wangan Dead Heat.
In Wangan, it could be the Wangan Dead Heat. No, it's not. It's not. But wait, no, that's
you
the
have
one
to
where
win races.
you're just
to make the girls happy.
yeah.
with you.
Right. No, it's not that one. It's the one with the really weird default controls where you use the D-pad to like shift a manual transmission, and then you use it has you using the right and left shoulder triggers to steer, which is really weird. But when you go into the menu options and you change the settings, then it becomes perfectly controllable. And I was talking about this game like a couple months back, and I can't remember what it is.
I did the same thing in
actually,
JR Doozy with the shifting.
Yeah, somebody help me out. Wangan Trial Love. Thank you. So you just
It was a Wangan
So
game.
it was Wangan. Yeah, it was Wangan,
Wangan.
but it was Wangan Trial Love, which is actually a much better dating and driving sim. Like the driving is actually a lot of fun.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, and there's tons of it's almost like it's too good for it's way better than it should be, because it has like all of these mods that you can do to the car, like a ton of mods that you can do to the cars and stuff like that, but it's all hidden underneath like this dating sim, so you would never know it, if you didn't go into the menus and stuff. But yeah, so anyway, for what it's worth, Kodar, check it out. Definitely it came out because of the whole initial D craze.
I like about Evan's comment. It's called "Ouch" on the girls who reject you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Opa Wangan style.
Nope. This is not 2012.
Oh man, we've got comedians in chat.
All right. What's next? Air's Adventure.
Air's Adventure. So
Yeah, we got some breaking news today.
yeah,
Pat.
this is breaking news. Dan tagged me in it. So today, like literally like 9:27 in the morning, he told me he made a post on the Sega Extreme Discord, posting a work in progress fan translation of Air's Adventure, which is a Saturn turn-based RPG, Japanese Saturn RPG, that he's working with Snowy Aria on. That's doing the translation work while he's doing the hacking.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not familiar with it, it's basically a turn-based RPG developed by Game Studio and released in December of 1996. The story involves a knight who is about to be executed and is stopped by the last minute by a princess. And his new mission is to find the truth about why he was going to be executed. It's not good. It's labeled as a Kosoge game, which is a term for a shitty game. I put bad game, but Dan did some editing to make it a little bit more blunt.
I did.
So
I did. Did you not want to be that blunt? I'm sorry.
I figured we would have kept the articles PG-13, but I guess
have you guys played this game?
I played it for 5 minutes before the show just to get a feeling of it, and it was pretty bad.
And it was pretty bad.
I think Peter has done a Best of Saturn on this recently too. We can edit your story to say bad again, make it bad.
Yeah, because Peter made it sound so. I'll be honest with you guys, it's not one that I've played because of the language barrier, and because I've just been lazily sitting on my ass waiting for somebody to translate it. But honestly, the way that Peter made it sound, he made it sound like it was kind of good. So that comes as a surprise.
Yeah, but it's basically known as a Kosoge game or a shitty game that even though it has that label and it probably has not aged well, it seems to have some sort of cult following behind it. At least enough to warrant a fan translation. So if Snowy has comments on Blue Sky or anything to go by.
Yeah, I added that to the end of your story. I thought that was kind of to your point about somebody is a fan out there, and apparently the translator Snowy Aria is, and posted on Blue Sky about how excited they were.
I can't find a Best of Saturn from Peter though on our website, so maybe
I could have sworn he did.
I know, right? I thought so too.
Maybe he titled it differently.
Yeah, maybe.
He could have put the Japanese name.
How's that?
But again, like this is one of those games that you'll see like several copies at any like import Saturn booth, and they're usually pretty cheap, but it always looks kind of intriguing to me. Again, lots of dialogue, so very, very Japanese dialogue heavy, and it hasn't been translated. So, but here it is. So, I will see.
There you go.
So what was janky about it? What did you not like, Pat? I'm just curious.
Well, the first opening sequence is a really, really bad 3D rendered 2D, and the art is not really impressive at all as from these these images.
It looks kind of cheap. It looks a little Ballerina Toshinden.
Yeah.
To me, I don't know. You think so?
It's funny. These characters, I don't know if what you would call them, like portraits. And they remind me. They have the same kind of weird, like airbrushed look as the characters in that Cyber Sled. Yeah. What is it?
Grand Chaser.
Grand Chaser.
Yeah.
They
Cyber
don't.
Speedway.
You know, Cyber Speedway. They have the same kind of weird, kind of like I don't know, early Adobe Illustrator or something. Like I don't know how they did that.
MS
but
Paint looks
kind of
effort.
MS Paint. You know,
the dude looks like a bootleg One Piece character.
Yeah, like there's no hard lines. It's all just like really weird gradients, and it just has an interesting look to it. But again, cult following. So I mean, I guess some people are going to be happy about this.
I played a little of the battle tutorial, which is still in Japanese. Like there's still a lot that isn't translated yet in this patch. This patch just does some of the like story dialogue. It doesn't do any of the menus. Doesn't do the name input yet. In fact, it's interesting because the game asks you to name your character and the princess's character. You can name them both. So I named them, what I wanted to in hiragana, and then when it actually like came time to say her name in the game, it put up like other weird English characters. So they've been messing around with some stuff in the background with the translation.
Yeah.
Which, makes sense. Like you'll have that. But yeah, the battle tutorial was like the A button blocks, the B button attacks, the C button like passes or something. It didn't seem to do anything, and that was it. Like there didn't seem to be anything else to it. It was not deep at all, unless there's more that comes later in the game, and that was just your opening look at the battle. I don't know, but I was a little unimpressed with the first look at that.
I hope somebody does Solo Crisis at some point. That's one of those on the top of my bucket list kind of games.
I want Virus.
Yeah, that's another one that would be like way up there.
We
but
need
again, I think both
savers.
Yeah. Again, that's another one. Lots of text in a lot of those games. Solo Crisis even got its own it got its own commercial with Sagata-san, because it was a pretty high profile game. But alas, nobody's touched it.
But yeah, this
anyway,
game is
thanks to Hitomi.
Yeah, the game's a work in progress. You guys can check it out now down on the fan patch. Still work in progress, so don't expect like perfectly ready to play. But a lot of it's translated and pretty playable, so the important parts to know the story is there, so.
Yeah, it'll be neat to see, how they progress with this, and Hitomi and Snowy Aria have both done great work in a number of translation patches over the years. So, it's a good power combo, and this will be a neat addition to the English Saturn library, if you will.
We have a comment in chat from the M-Word. A lot of fans from Finland. Are you from Finland? And my question to you is, did you ever get the net link? Because it came out in Finland of all places.
And a guy has like 50 of them, and he's selling them for like $60 each for some reason.
It was like the only other market that they put out the American net link in Finland of all places, which is a fun fact. But anyway, so moving right along to this roundup that Dan posted celebrating Saturn Homebrew.
Sorry, I was busy looking through all the best of Saturn posts trying to find
it, right?
He's desperately trying to find it.
Too.
Desperate.
It's like a glitch in the Matrix. Like I could swear that he wrote about this.
Double Dime says he's excited for Air's Adventure.
Oh, good.
So I don't know. So folks are excited. Yeah, I don't know. And maybe it's one of those games that'll end up being better than better than
Maybe.
folks think.
Maybe we'll
I
like
love
it better than the Japanese.
I love the
audience.
generic name of the developer publisher, Game Studio.
Yeah,
Right?
I know.
They're like,
They
Very
no
literal.
longer exist, by the way. They
it's like
shut
no,
down
no use for a
2003.
name.
Rip.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So, Saturn Homebrew Week is an idea that we. I guess I proposed it to you guys, and you guys were like, "Yeah, sure, that sounds great. Go for it, Dan." So I did.
Yeah, it does sound great.
Yeah, there are more than 1,100 games in the Saturn's retail library, but there's more to the Saturn's library than just those games. Homebrew developers have been making new games for the Sega Saturn for a couple decades now, and I think that those are worth seeing as, as what? What are you laughing at?
Nothing.
Sorry, Dan.
Are you screwing around with me?
Pat's
while I'm
messing with you.
monologuing?
No, there's
Yes.
nothing. I don't know what you're talking
Damn,
about.
dude. Yeah, I see.
Anyway,
Okay.
keep going.
No, it's ruined.
Try to stay
Roll the
focused.
credits. Anyway,
Roll credits.
No.
so yeah, I think that homebrew games are worthy of being seen as part of the Saturn library, just alongside retail games, and they don't get enough of the spotlight. I don't think people pay enough attention to the Saturn homebrew games outside of when the competition happens every year at Sega Extreme. So I wanted to kind of shine a spotlight on some of them. I mean, there are so many, there are dozens that it's hard to really go through all of them. So I just kind of chose a few, and I did some social media posts every day this week on all the different SHIRO channels and a few Discords. And I cut together some videos showing off some Saturn homebrew mods and games.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? Like, I'm just seeing like so you started with like the really early stuff, right? The coding contest from 2003 to 2007.
Yeah.
And one of the first things you see on here is like Slinga, right? And I mean, it's crazy that it's been around that long. Like, he's been a member of the community, and VBT are on here, and of course Rock and B. Like it's just crazy. Like, some of these folks are still in the community, still doing Saturn homebrew today, but they've been here all the way. They're like the OGs,
Yeah, it's just not seeing all this. It's like these games are like when I was like in middle school, like 2005. So it's like kind of crazy to see them so early.
You're making them feel real old.
So us feel old, Pat. So
Sorry,
us were already in
bros.
college.
It's only 20 years.
And also, I don't think they had Joe Engine back then. They were just like doing either like cart dev, or they were they doing cart dev? How were they doing that coding contest? I wonder.
Yeah, I think they had the gamers cartridge where you could like plug it from your PC directly into the cartridge and just kind of like have the Saturn.
Oh, so like the thing. Saturn Basic? That was Saturn Basic.
No. People, I think, were coding just in like SGL.
The gamers cart. Oh, okay,
and they
right.
were
Like Cafe Office.
Cafe Office.
Got you.
Gamers cart. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I think
cool.
people were doing that, or they were just like coding it on their computers, checking it with SS. Help me. What's the emulator?
SSF.
SSF. Thank you. We're using SSF or Gear or something, one of the early emulators, and then maybe once they felt confident about it, they'd burn a CD and pop it in their Saturns, and maybe they probably had a modded chip installed because there weren't any ODEs back then,
right?
So
probably had to have a huge cake spindle of discs, because you'd probably burn a lot of coasters too,
Exactly.
It's just crazy how far things have come.
All these homebrew games for these contests are preserved not so much individually anymore. Most of them are not floating around anymore individually, but they were compiled at the time into demo discs. Someone kind of like, I think, hacked one of the retail Saturn demo discs to sort of show. Well, no, they actually came up with their own demo disc type of thing called the Atlas. Rock and B came up with the Atlas demo disc. And so they started distributing all of these as demo discs so that players who want to check them out could just burn one CD. And instead of like a CD for each individual game, they could burn one CD and just check out all the contest entries, which is really cool. So that's how we have these preserved. They are on the Internet Archive, but a lot of them are in like weird formats that don't really work in emulators anymore. or they, they kind of have a hard time with certain ODEs. So what I did was I took them and I turned them into bin-queue files, which work a lot better. I had to do that just so I could capture some of this footage. The exception is the very first contest.
To the site?
Under media, as upload new media.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah. Now, like as you're seeing, Pat, I did upload these to the SHIRO website in the bin-queue format with their README files, their social README files. The exception is the CC 2003, the very first contest. That is an ISO. The bin-queue wasn't working for me, and so Night of Dragon over on the Sega Extreme server was like, yeah, the queue file is messed up. Here's an ISO, and that worked for me. So that's what I zipped up and included. Yeah. So thanks to Night for helping me out with that. The reason we do not have a link to the C4 2007 disk is because that's a really big one. Now, the WordPress site does tell me that we have a file limit of 512 megabytes, half a gig. And this demo disk for 2007 is less than that. It's about 450 megabytes or something, but it's still a huge file. And both times I tried to upload it to the site, it got to 100% and then failed. Right, it gave me an error.
I was just let me know. I would have uploaded to Google Drive and just put a link to it.
Google Drive.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Well, I just got an email that said we're like reached our pooled limit for the Google Drive. We probably need to go through and delete a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of stuff on there that we could get rid of.
Spring cleaning. We need to do some spring cleaning.
I hope you guys are okay with this.
Definitely. Actually,
good to preserve history.
It's a good subject to bring up because I've often thought like there should be some redundancy. And I mean, being a Saturn site, it would be nice if we could start hosting more assets. Yeah, but the thing is, I just don't want to step on any toes. Like, I don't want to step on Sega Extreme's toes or whatever. If anything, I would just want to make sure that there was redundancy and that these things had a place to live, you know? So, I mean, you can find a lot of this stuff at Sega Extreme. And again,
well, here's the thing: like a lot of the stuff is not hosted on Sega Extreme. These particular, like some of the files are, but like a lot of them were either like put up on like Mega Upload, like file sharing sites that don't exist anymore, or the files are just gone from them now. And you'll see posts on Sega Extreme talking about it and being like, "Hey, just download it from here," and it's gone.
Yeah, it's like, Mega Upload. They got rated over 10 years ago, so
a long time ago.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So like the only way I was able to get my hands on any of this stuff was by finding that someone had put them all up on the Internet Archive. And I mean, the Internet Archive, as much as we'd like to believe will stay around forever, who knows? In the very least, it could have issues or something, and it might lose data. Who knows? So. It's also kind of obscure, like who is going to the Internet Archive looking for these old contest entries. So I thought it would be good to, spotlight them and take the opportunity to put out slightly more useful versions of them as bin queues. So,
and I think that if you discover or you find more instances of stuff like that where it's like they're on the brink of being lost, I think that it's a good idea to host them. And honestly, like when we first started as SHIRO, Pat and I, we created a separate Facebook page or Facebook Saturn archive site, just to archive materials, which was a terrible idea, first of all, because Facebook's a walled garden, and second of all, because they continually, like the more time goes by, they compress your shit to hell, so all the stuff that I uploaded for like archival purposes, if it's an image, has been kind of compressed because they're trying to save space on the servers. But I have all that stuff backed up to my work PC. And it's probably a good idea. I know Sega Retro exists, and I know like the Internet Archive exists, but again, you really never know. So it's nice to have redundancy. So I'm on board with you. Yeah,
I mean, we're planning to keep the site open forever. So unless we die or something, I don't think we're closing the site. Even if SHIRO stops being a thing, I think the site will still exist.
That's why it's a community, right? So there's always going to be other hands to pick up. To carry on and pick up the work, and keep moving. That's the thing.
So my ashes on the SegaSaturn.com website.
Anyway,
so mods of retail games you've got on here too.
The next day, on Tuesday, we looked at mods for retail games. There have been quite a few mods that people have done to like Saturn games were sold at retail. And I thought this would be something kind of interesting because, I mean, a lot of times you don't really think about mods made to games as being part of the homebrew community, but I mean, they are, and they often can breathe new life into a game. These were dedicated modders who did some amazing things with their favorite games. So, this video here kind of looks at the Tomb Raider port of Unfinished Business, the expansion. That was super cool from Retro Raider John. And Retro Dad and Modern Lad did the Sega Worldwide Soccer roster update, and he added like a power shot to it. That was neat. A couple years ago, last year, we had the Radiant Silver Gun Extra mod, and of course, Malenko with his NBA Jam Walrus edition, which he messaged me. He was not happy that I didn't show off Craig Stadler. And like, I was so close to it. Of course. I had to keep the video short, and I figured
Of course
Sonic,
he was upset about that.
Yeah.
That's his pride and joy.
I wanted to.
That's his pride and joy.
I really wanted to, but like, I figured Sonic would bring the clicks a little more,
for sure.
And I had to keep the video to a good length. I tried to keep all these to about like 1:40. So yeah, the Shining Force 3 translation team has done a ton of mods to that game, and it was kind of hard to show them in the video because I'd have to play for a long time, and it's not anything like easily illustratable. It's like, oh, you have this sword now, or hey, you can haggle, and you can succeed at haggling all the time. Like, it's not really like as illustrative to do in a video as just what I opted for doing, I think, which was just like showing the super awesome menu for the installer, where you can just like pick and choose every mod you want to install that you've got available. Nice. So that's super cool. And then Burning Rangers co-op mode you mentioned earlier today,
amazing.
Dave,
from
Bo Bales.
Yeah. Oh, isn't there was also Bo Bales has done a few of these. He's done a lot of
the
these.
Sonic
that,
one,
like four player mode.
Oh yeah, he's done a lot. I picked one from him.
You missed one of my favorite mods. It's just as well because it would have been copyright flagged, and that's the Initial D Eurobeat mod. And
wait, he did that?
I only just sorry,
he did that.
No, he didn't do that. I'm just saying he missed it in his video. The Eurobeat mod is one of my favorite. It's a very simple like CDDA music replacement mod. But I mean, it really makes that game a lot more enjoyable just because of those tracks. If you love the anime, fun fact is that game came out before the anime, and that's why it was like all based. The game was all based on the manga, and so they didn't have the frame of reference of like their Eurobeat tracks because the anime hadn't come out yet. So they kind of just like went with some like, I don't know, electronic music. But
that explains a lot. But I can't believe how much Eurobeat just that choice sort of influenced both not only Initial D but also also MF Ghost.
Running in the 90s, but yeah, so I mean, I love that mod, and these are some of the best. These retail game mods are some of the best ones.
I thought about showcasing music ones like that one and the one that
would have been a copyright.
The Cyber Speedway one.
Yes,
the Grand Chaser music. But it's like I kind of went with the format of like having one song over the entire video as you're looking at clips of different games instead of like.
So there wouldn't be anything to show.
Yeah, I would have to. Right, I would just be showing the game, and I would have to like turn that initial music off to show the music for that game. And
for sure. But they're out there, and folks can find them. And in fact, I think they're listed. I think Private Eye has those listed on our website. He does. Yeah. So, yeah. Cool.
Malenko did also harass me about not dunking with Sonic. I just went for like the little 2-point jumper, and I was like, yeah, that's because I don't know how to dunk in NBA Jam. I haven't played it in so long. I forgot how. I was so bad in some of the footage I was capturing. I was like going to shoot, and I would instead like pass the ball, and it would go all the way down to the other end of the court. And you're like, yeah, it was great. Awesome. Anyway, so day 3, I'll speed it up here. Day 3, I looked at the 2D original games that have been made for the Saturn. Some of them. I looked at half a dozen of them. Sky Blaster.
Technically, Sky Blaster is 3D.
Okay, it's I realized
from a side view.
It does have It does have polygons. It does use polygons, but it's a 2D style of gameplay.
You're correct.
It is a shmup. So I decided to show it.
Nice.
And I wanted to show it. So a lot of these I chose because they won a contest in recent years, or they ranked very highly in a Sega Extreme contest. One of the more recent ones that are run by Emerald Nova. And so Sky Blaster was very highly rated, and I'm like, well, like I know it uses 3D graphics, but I wanted to like highlight games that are more 3D in the 3D video that came the following day. So I put it in the 2D section. I wanted to have Sky Blaster somewhere in there because it's a really good game. People like it a lot. So yeah, Sky Blaster is in there. Pixel Poppy Pong, which I actually have an updated build of it in this video.
Yeah, no, the one I showed off to record it was the old one, and I was like, I didn't know there's a new build of it.
Yeah, it just came out the day that I was putting this video together. He put it in the Haas machine, put it in the Sega Extreme server, and I'm like, oh shit, this looks really good. Like,
this is also my awesome painting skills right now.
Some new footage.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I got. I think all the other footage was I recorded a couple of shots of Sky Blaster myself to show like other levels, because your footage, Pat, was from like an earlier build of the game.
Yeah, it was.
Where like the background never changes, and I'm like, oh well, I know that the color changes in the background. Like I kind of want to show that, so I threw a couple of those moments in there.
It looks amazing from what I played before. Like it looks so much better. Like pixel, like the Pixel Poppy Pong was really good.
A lot more little details and stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah, a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, Haas Machine's been putting so much effort into that, trying to get it ready for the contest. That's gonna be great.
I'm excited you didn't play the rest of the clip for this artist that I had like towards the end of it. I thought that was the best part of it. No, I was not going to put that in the video. Come on. Wow.
By the way, Ray says he did 3D models because he can't draw. But you know, in all fairness, he made that 3D model viewer software for the Saturn, like that. And I think he did. Cool. He did something else with 3D models, like a cloth demo and stuff like that. So I'm not surprised that he used 3D models. They look good. They honestly, Sky Blaster has a real slick look.
It does.
Works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and then CTLB said that back in the day, people used an action replay with the DB25 port and an ISA card, later an AR to LPT PAR adapter on PC instead of the ISA card. Later came the USB dev card from any time.
Okay, yeah, because the original the Pro Action Replay cartridges, some of them did have like a serial port or whatever on top of it.
Yeah.
Or an ID
the comms port.
Yeah, the comms port. So
that's right. It was an ISA, COM port.
You could hook her up to your computer, and the idea was you could like download new cheats off of Action Replay's website and then load them onto your cartridge. But of course, homebrewers found other ways to use it. Anyway, so the other 2D games that I highlighted were Sickle, which is an earlier one from 2020, Balloonatics, one of the cool 12-player games. We unfortunately didn't have footage of 12 players playing it, but that's okay. I still showed it a little bit. Sartist, which Pat sent me footage of himself drawing a dick and balls in it, and I did not use that part of footage. It absolutely was, and I did not use it. And you talked to me about keeping it PG-13. And then Red Moon Lost Days, which of course is the only Saturn homebrew that has actually been sold. And it requires a cartridge and it's a burned disc, but still you can buy it and support the developer, Neuramage Studio, and San Sigolo. So San Sigolo, so that's cool. Thursday we looked at some of the original 3D games on the Saturn, including Hellslave, Cube Cat, Cold Case, Bridget Bishop, Blue Skies, and Slide Hop. A lot of these have either won or placed very highly in recent Sega Extreme contests, so I thought these would be some of like the best representatives of 3D games that have been made by homebrewers on the Saturn.
Don't sell off Hellslave on TikTok, you'll get banned.
Yeah. Well, that ship has sailed for us trying to put in these videos on TikTok, so what can you do? So yeah, those are super cool. And then for Friday, I wanted to do something a little different and highlight the development tools that have assisted homebrewers in making their own games, because these are super important too. A lot of these games would not have been possible without using Joe Engine, Yaool, Pone Sound, Film Tools, and the Z-Tream Engine Model Importer. And there are other tools too, and I wasn't able to make a video out of those, partially because it's kind of hard to show those things off, just like an engine in your IDE of Joe Engine or whatever, in a video. So I put some screenshots and logos and stuff instead. And I wanted to mention, the community is on the verge of getting another powerful tool, and that's the Saturn Rings library, which is a wrapper for the Saturn game library, Sega's SGL. It's the Saturn Rings library is made by Raimi, and it is set for public release by tomorrow. It might come out tonight, might come out early tomorrow. He just let me know that earlier today. I've got the logo there in the story right next to my
and
piece
it includes Saturn math as well as a native component.
That's true. I didn't mention that, but yeah, it is going to include Saturn math to make some calculations more efficient. Math will math better on the Saturn, and it is written in C++. So yeah, it's supposed to make Saturn homebrew development easier than ever. So that's going to be super cool. I think that's going to be entered into the upcoming contest. And speaking of which, the big reason I did this, besides the fact I just wanted to kind of highlight homebrew games, was that I wanted to remind everyone that Sega Extreme's Sega Saturn 30th anniversary game competition is just weeks away. The deadline is April 11th, and then a month later on the Saturn's North American birthday on May 11th, the winners will be announced. So, if anybody has any homebrew projects out there that they've made in the last year or so, by all means, head on over to Sega Extreme and, look up the details on the thread and enter your stuff into this contest. Because, okay, sure, it's a contest and there are prizes, but it also is just a celebration and a showcase of everything that the homebrew community has done on the Saturn.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and if there's so much you could cover.
If folks don't enter their stuff, should we do like a Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire and just like kind of enter it for them?
Force them, yes.
We're just like, Team Medusa is not gonna. I don't know if they're gonna enter in any of their stuff, but they've been really prolific. So it's not
we'll showcase
I'll just throw their name in the Goblet of Fire. See what happens.
I'll take your prize. Thank you very much.
Oh, I want to.
I just wanted to say real quick before you move on. I didn't talk about any fan translations with this homebrew week. Not because they're not awesome. They are.
Right. They're not homebrew
myself.
Right.
Well, they're homebrew in a way. Because,
they are.
You do need a lot of technical prowess.
It's homebrew development. Yeah.
Right, but like fan translations get all of the press. They get a lot of attention, and I wanted to shine a light on stuff that doesn't get as much attention, like the actual original games that are made for the Saturn. So that's why I excluded the translations from this homebrew week.
No, you're absolutely right. Everybody goes gaga over a new translation, even if it's Air's Adventure. But I mean, with homebrew, it's like, it flies under the radar a lot of time. You look at stuff like Cold Case, and it's just like, wow, that's incredible. I'm just happy to be looking at the thumb of Cold Case right now. But I mean, the fact that I want to see other awesome new original content from homebrew developers. So thanks for doing that, Dan. I appreciate you hyping this up like that. And I want to mention there's another one that's kind of invisible. You don't really see it, but it's there, and a ton of work and many years of research and development went into creating the tunnel that we all use to take our Saturns online. And again, it's like hard to show because it's a script that you run on your computer or on your Raspberry Pi, but thanks to Sega RPG Fan for making the tunnel so that we can all take our Saturns online and do online competition.
100%.
Browse our website, which is available in HTML 1.0.
Thanks to Ray.
Care of Ray, available in the resources tab, so you can. Thanks to both of those guys for making that possible.
So everybody get out there and play some Saturn homebrew. Enjoy some Saturn homebrew. And you can find all this stuff under the resources tab on SegaSaturnShiro.com, and then you look at you click on Saturn homebrew, and there's links to all this stuff on there that Emerald Nova maintains. I actually did find a homebrew game that is linked from the Joe Engine website that is not on this page, and I let Nova know about it, and he said he's going to update that over the weekend. So.
Oh wow! Emerald posted on the. Yeah, he said all previous year physical prizes will be shipped within a week. There's like this huge mountain of packages.
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. Yeah. So I guess it took him a while to ship those.
Yeah, it's like wrangling cats, I guess, sometimes with people trying to get their addresses
cats.
and whatnot. Yeah. So anyway, so yeah,
Nice.
that's our homebrew highlight for this week. Hope everybody enjoyed it and gets out there and plays some fun homebrew.
Definitely. You want me? I can read off our patron supporters if we're ready for that, or
That works.
unless you guys have anything else to say
I think I'm good.
before we wrap it.
Let me get
Yeah.
Okay.
the music bumping.
All right, cool.
I just bumping.
Let me know. It's bumping. Okay. Well, thank you to A Murder of Crows, Cerulean, Chris Piper, Daniel Fredrickson, Derek Pasquarella, A-Team, Emerald Nova, Evo42, Fat Drunk Friend Otaku, Gem Clash or Rank, Johannes Fetz, Lion Wing Publishing, Memphis, Normal Guy, Nutrageous, Orlando Guy, Paul Joseph Bort, Robert Ramsey, Rowan Dinkt, Sega Steve, Stone Man, the Sega Guys, and Young Money Swee,
So we
all for supporting us at the $10 and up level.
Thank you.
You guys are our all
Huge
access
thanks.
and VIP patrons. We love you. Thanks so much for supporting us. Thanks to everyone who supports us at any tier.
Yes.
We appreciate your financial support too, and we also appreciate folks like Wiener Bob here slipping on the keyboard every once in a while, and his budget or butteries, and if you can't do the patron thing, we understand. There is an opportunity to support us financially on the website. You can make a one-time donation if you feel like it. It's under the support tab on our website. Otherwise, just get on over to the SHIRO Discord and join up so that you can at least be a part of the SHIRO family. Join the conversation, do something cool like play your Saturn online, or talk about strats, your Panzer Dragoon. Everybody's talking about Panzer Dragoon
or just
Saga
post
right
what you
now.
cooked last night.
Or put what you cooked last night. If Dan's always showing us
Do that
some
all
nice.
the
You gonna
Buddy
make
makes
a
such
cookbook
good
with
food.
all those?
I'm smelling the pierogies right now. They're in the oven.
Oh, pierogies,
hungry.
nice.
Ooh,
Yeah.
What is
nice.
that? Russian or Polish?
Mrs. T's. They're not
Mrs.
fancy
T's
pierogies.
pierogies.
Yeah,
And
they're Polish.
nice. And
They're
then
tea rogies.
Mhm.
what else can folks do on our?
They can
the-
buy a
the
magazine. They
community
can buy
challenge,
some
of course.
T-shirts.
Yeah, buy
Partake
some
in
hoodies.
the community challenge as well. You've got 3 more days to
Well,
to
that
do
too. You could also do
And let
that.
us know if you're looking to join the Netlink community too, because we're going to have some modems soon.
Yeah, we got some
Definitely.
modems.
Yes, yeah, that's on my list right here to test out those live modems to make sure that they work. I know the modems are good, like the X-band modems are good, but I got to make sure those live modems are good before I ship them out. But then we'll put together some kind of form or some kind of sign up thing and have folks throw their name in the hat for those. And go make some homebrew, Ray says.
Yeah,
Make some brew.
to make some Saturn homebrew.
All right.
Well, thank you
That's-
everybody for watching and listening on the podcast.
Definitely.
And remember, you must
Thanks
play
everybody. You must play
Sega Saturn.
Sega Saturn.
Must.
And you must go do Pat's landscaping so he doesn't have to pay for it.
$70,
That would
baby.
help too.
Help him cat sit.
Help me cat sit. I'm
Anybody
gonna
in
go take a nap.
Arizona, go help Pat so Pat can take a nap. See you
All right,
guys
later.
Later.
Bye.